Coming up next.
I got to talk about Napheesa Collier versus Cathy Engelbert in the WNBA.
We go to battle every day to protect a shield that doesn't value us.
I think most people, like me and everyone else, are locked in to this battle between Phee and Cathy Engelbert, commissioner of the WNBA. Well, somebody has to bring up the point that you won't like, and nobody wants to touch it because it isn't a comfortable conversation. I don't know how much credit I can give somebody when they were the co-founder and owner of the rival league. I don't know how much it's bravery or pure conflict of interest, or if I can give any credit at all to somebody who played a hand that she could not lose. If Cathy Engelbert wasn't there, is that the only thing that is stopping the WNBA from being the most successful, everyone's a millionaire company? Cat fights don't build this league. Strategy and solidarity do.
All right, go ahead and show the clip.
Here, I got to talk about Napheesa Collier versus Cathy Engelbert in the WNBA. Oh, Lord. And the reason I'm going to talk about this, bringing up WNBA, because it's way more interesting than the WNBA Finals. Does anyone give a shit about the 2-0 lead that the Las Vegas Aces have over the Mercury? I know I don't.
Hey, nobody cares. Nobody cares.
I don't hear anyone really talking about it. I think most people, like me and everyone else, are locked in to this battle between Phee and Cathy Engelbert, commissioner of the WNBA.
That's right. That's right. That's right.
Ratings are really kind of on our side for that argument. Game 2, it was Sunday, but only got 1.34 million views. That was less than NASCAR. I mean, Caitlyn in her regular season continually toppled that. Averaged 2 million a lot of times easy. It just doesn't seem to have any real buzz or anybody really talking about it. Everyone wants to talk about this battle and Phee being this hero, this Katniss Everdeen, this civil rights leader like her grandfather, going against the horrible WNBA, and it's this big old story. Well, somebody has to bring up the point that you won't like, and nobody wants to touch it because it isn't a comfortable conversation. But the fact is, your hero had a royal flush and played a hand that she couldn't lose, and I don't know how much credit I can give somebody for doing something when they were the co-founder and owner of the rival league as she did all the things that she did. She played a hand that she could not lose. So let's get into it in case y'all haven't really followed all this. There was this big battle last couple weeks between Cathy Engelbert, the WNBA commissioner, and Phee. So what happened is at the end of Fee's playoff run, there was this foul. Alyssa Thomas clearly fouled her. It led to an injury. The links went down. So in Collier's exit interview, she went ham.
At Unrivaled this past February, I sat across from Cathy and asked how she planned to address the officiating issues in our league. Her response was, well, only the losers complain about the refs.
She was fouled, I'll give her that, and she talked about the no call. She was clearly pissed off. She was also hurt. She started criticizing the league, the officiating, the inconsistent standards.
I also asked how she planned to fix the fact that players like Caitlyn, Angel, and Paige, who are clearly driving massive revenue for the league, are making so little for their first 4 years. Her response was, Caitlyn should be grateful she makes $16 million off the court, because without the platform that the WNBA gives her, she wouldn't make anything.
And then she went on into getting into Cathy, calling her, quote, the worst leadership in the world. In the world, not just like in sports, in the world. They were negligent. They're tone deaf. The commissioner is suppressing our voices. She has no accountability. She went on to say, I heard direct quotes where she said things like, anyone that complained about our bad officiating are just losers, and that Caitlin Clark should be grateful. She'd make no money if it wasn't for me in the WNBA, and the whole league should be on their hands and knees thanking me because of the television deal and the media rights deal that I got them.
And in that same conversation, she told me players should be on their knees thanking their lucky stars for the media rights deal that I got them. That's a mentality driving our league from the top. We go to battle every day to protect a shield that doesn't value us. The league believes it succeeds despite its players, not because of them.
So it was a lot of fire thrown, and Engelbert came out, and she really had a pretty tepid response. It wasn't very good, and she's really not good at this part of her job, and released this little press statement of like, I was disheartened by the comments and Collier's remarks and how the conversation was characterized. But then she had a press conference, and she got a little bit bolder, and when asked, publicly denied those alleged comments.
Caitlin Clark should be grateful she makes $16 million off the court, because without the platform that the WNBA gives her,
she wouldn't make anything? And do you actually feel that way, that without this platform, players like Caitlin Clark wouldn't be making what they do off the court?
Yeah, obviously I did not make those comments. Caitlin has been a transformational player in this league. She's been a great representative of the game. She's brought in tens of millions of new fans to the game, proud of what she's put on the court. Unfortunately, the injuries held her back from a full season this year. But again, I'm not going to get into every point, counterpoint. It's not productive here. We're here to celebrate the WNBA finals.
Along with some of the problems with the referees and everything else. But when she denied those comments, Collier got pissed off and she doubled down and she went back and said, we go to battle every day to protect the shield that doesn't value us. They were supposed to have a meeting right after all this happened. Collier apparently canceled the meeting. There's been all sorts of tension, and the entire dialogue is broken down completely, and now there's all sorts of back and forth and rumors in this, and we're worried about lockouts and everybody else, and they won't talk to each other, and Collier won't take her phone calls, and it's a big old thing, and everybody wants to give all the love to Phee. Everybody wants to say, God, what a hero. She did it. She fought her. And it's not fun for me. I want to be always the good guy or have the easy take.
Okay, if no one else will say it, I will.
Someone had to bring it up. Somebody has to bring up something that is an uncomfortable truth, that as a co-owner and founder of the rival league, we are basically praising a poker player for winning with a royal flush. Do you get what I'm saying? I don't know how much it's bravery or pure conflict of interest, or if I can give any credit at all to somebody who played a hand that she could not lose. Like I said, Collier is not just the WNBA vice president during these negotiations. She's the co-founder and part owner of Unrivaled, the new player-led off-season league who, in my opinion, I think want to be more than just the off-season league. I think they would love to replace the WNBA as Stewart and Collier, and it's really a player-led, very ground roots kind of movement here. I think they would love to go completely to the Unrivaled league. She is the co-founder and owner of that league.
Why is no one concerned about this?
That's kind of a big deal. That's not just a side hustle. That is a complete conflict of interest. That is not just being a little dishonest. That's a walking contradiction. You cannot be the face of a rival league and at the same time claim to be an objective voice in union negotiations with the WNBA.
Isn't that a conflict of interest?
The best example I can give you is like wrestling. Tony Khan, who owns AEW, if he worked with Vince McMahon and suddenly you heard him do press conferences like, y'all should have heard what Vince said. Oh, man, Vince said this crazy thing. He said this crazy thing. Word for word, I promise you. I think we would all at least question his motives or at least have, a little bit of hesitancy to go, really? Is that really what he said?
Are you sure that's what he said? Right.
I don't think anybody else, if we weren't so sensitive to not wanting to go after the WNBA, I think we would have to admit this is a huge conflict of interest. So if Unrivaled succeeds, it does so at the expense of the WNBA, and every time now Phee swings at Cathy, I at least have to ask the question, I think most of us should, is this about reforming the WNBA, or are you recruiting for your own league? There were 3 possible outcomes, and Phee could not lose by taking the role that she did as the leader of the WNBA, the Katniss Everdeen of the oppressed, when she was playing with a royal flush. There were 3 possible results. First one's already happened, and is the personal brand jackpot that she has received. She has gone from underrated to the #1 hero of the WNBA. And it's not like Phee hasn't been elite. She has been a top 2 or 3 player in the league for years now. She was top 5 in the MVP voting the last 3 straight years and has been only runner-up to A'ja Wilson, best player in the world, the last 2. But she was never a household name. She was 8th in jersey sales. She was behind names like Kate Martin, Van Lith, and Cameron Brink, girls she had no business being behind and is a much better player than. She was signed with Nike. She is signed with Nike, but she has no signature shoe. And suddenly she calls out Cathy Engelbert, and everybody's on her side, and suddenly it's a big brand glow up. She's now not just a top player, she's the people's champion. Most people now know she's the granddaughter of a civil rights hero, so she's carrying the torch, she's standing up to the establishment, and in the meantime, while being this symbol of progress, her name is now #1 in WNBA searches. She's #1 trending over names like Caitlin and Angel, who used to be in front of her, so that's not just attention she's gotten from this, she's gotten a lot of value personally. The other 2 outcomes is going to be one or the other, and again, both win for Phee. The first one I call the Katniss Everdeen outcome versus the district WNBA, where if the league caves to a lot of what the WNBA ladies are asking for, whether it's socially more than fiscally responsible, she still wins. at the expense of the league, but players will get more money, the fans will cheer, the media will praise her, she wins again. And I don't know if they can get or should get what the WNBA might have to pay them if they bow to social pressure. Never mind that the league is still not profitable and has never been in its entire history. Never mind that currently finals tickets are going for $35, which is a little bit disconcerting, to say the least. Never mind that most of the country even forgot the finals are happening and spent more time talking about these two ladies arguing. The public doesn't care about economics. They only care about the optics, and right now the optics say hero versus villain. So let's say she gets what she wants in all of these demands and having this catfight and this big, huge breakdown here, that the WNBA ends up caving and gives them more money than is probably fiscally responsible. She again gets to be the hero, the Hunger Games Katniss of women's sports, the Mockingjay of the WNBA, with the bow drawn and the crowd cheering. The third outcome that can happen from this, and this is probably, again, the quietest but most profitable win for Phee, she is the co-founder and part owner of Unrivaled. So if the WNBA takes a hit, they have a boycott, they have a backlash, they have a drop in ratings, who benefits?
We're rich! We're rich! We're rich! We're rich! We're rich!
Oh, the league she just happens to own and be a co-founder of. What a coinkydink. The rival league she owns now becomes the cool alternative, and girls like Caitlin Clark, who she suddenly shouted out and has turned them down for 2 years, maybe she goes over there and she is the Tiger Woods, and the entire fans would shift attention to her league. Suddenly they love Caitlin, they love Unrivaled. Guess who wins again? Good old Phee, hero to the common person. And so again, it's Triple Crown. She gets a brand boost out of this. She gets financial gain out of this. She gets the moral authority out of this. She gets more praise. She gets more sympathy for the league that she actually owns. No matter what, she gets more money. I don't know how much this is rebellion more than it is just playing a royal flush. Like, how much credit can I give you for playing a hand that there was no way of losing?
Smithers, there's no way I can lose this bet.
And having to pretend that this part wasn't there and listening to the media and nobody bring it up is continually this delicacy of talking between male and female sports, because I really don't have any doubt. If this were a man, or if this were any other male sport, I think we would obviously question the motives of a co-founder of a rival league being not just the union rep, but saying quotes about what the commissioner said and not taking it verbatim and at least having some questions. But we can't do that in 2025. There's a threefold security blanket of criticism with the WNBA and the ladies.
No one wants to admit that they are racist or sexist or phobic.
I've dealt with this. It's a tough thing to have to discuss, but there's X, Y, and Z reasons why you're not supposed to criticize the WNBA, the players, or their battles. And if you criticize Napheesa, you're anti-women. If you question her motives, you're anti-player. If you defend Cathy Engelbert, you're anti-progress. It's selective accountability, and it's really not helpful to make the moves. And I'm not saying that Cathy hasn't made mistakes, but pretending this is a one-sided issue is dishonest. It's a poker game, and Napheesa was sitting on a royal flush. She couldn't lose if she tried. I don't know how much credit I can give her for doing what should have been painfully obvious. And so last thing I'll say on it, I want to reiterate, I'm not saying that Collier's a villain, or even that she doesn't even mean what she says. I truly believe she might have some bias that she doesn't quite understand is coming from her. And we can respect the move, but I have a hard time pretending it's completely selfless. I like Phee. Everyone likes Phee. Nobody wants to disrespect her. We want to protect women, but it's a big part of the story that she's a co-owner and co-founder of the other league. And on a side note, I really don't know, unless Cathy is like the dumbest lady in the world, that she would actually say the direct quotes that Napheesa claims that she said. In arguments, sometimes you hear things the way you want. Maybe that could be it. But the quotes just sounded so, I don't know, over the top. You know, the Scrooge of the oh, you ladies will get the penance I throw you, this evil overlord. It just sounded a bit silly to me that she would say those things out loud to the union rep. She also has been around for a while in business. I don't think even if she thought it, she would say something that's stupid. I mean, is this the real Cathy?
I run the WNBA, and I don't for 1 second give two shits what some loudmouth bozo like Napheesa Collier has to say. Get it through your empty little head that absolutely nobody would know about any of you ladies if it wasn't for the WNBA.
That was an AI video there. But, I mean, seriously, I just have a hard time buying the story 100%. And I will also warn, it's easy to blame mean old Cathy Engelbert and mean old leadership, but it's a simple narrative that seems to fall into what a lot of younger and WNBA audiences already want to appeal to. There's a lot of times y'all bring your own stuff into this, so I have to ask the simple question. If Cathy Engelbert wasn't there, is that the only thing that is stopping the WNBA from being the most successful, everyone's a millionaire company in the entire world of sports?
It's all her fault.
And if that's not the case, maybe we need to take a more nuanced look at this. It's easy to pile on Cathy. She's too corporate. She's too cautious. She really hasn't handled a lot of things well, but she's also the one who, at least on the business side, landed the new TV deal. She expanded the schedule. She's tripled the league's evaluation. Would the WNBA even be growing without her is just as fair of a question of this kind of simple-ass narrative we put out to where, man, if it wasn't for Cathy, they'd all just be rolling in dough.
We'd be rich.
This would be the most successful league in all the sports if it wasn't for mean old Cathy and the mean old leadership of the WNBA. It fits into what a lot of people want to believe in their own life, this idea that I'd be the most successful podcaster in the world if it wasn't for this. I'd be the millionaire if it wasn't for this person or that thing. It feeds into a narrative that we already want to believe. It's very Uncle Rico.
Yeah, coach would have put me in fourth quarter. We'd have been state champions, no doubt.
It's very, I just want people to be careful and re-ask yourself the question, is the only thing holding the WNBA back Cathy and leadership? If she was not in leadership and there was a better CEO, would this be a league that's just rolling in dough and in profit and television ratings and everything else? I think it's easy to blame leadership than share accountability. You also have players who don't do a good job at marketing themselves, fans who tweet and argue online more than buy tickets. Progress takes everybody. I also want to reiterate the hypocrisy. I'm a little wary as a Caitlyn fan of suddenly Napheesa and everyone else being on this protect Caitlyn bandwagon.
Oh, so now you feel bad for me.
Again, I think I see what you're doing here.
You fake smarty pants. I know exactly what you're doing.
The cash cow who turned down your league twice, all of a sudden you want to protect her and speak up for her publicly. Where was this the last 2 years when she was basically treated like a damn rookie in the NHL, getting hip checked all over the place and beat up and all sorts of stuff? Now you want to take the moral high ground and be like, oh, we got to speak up for Caitlyn and these cash cows that are not getting what they deserve. And even if that was the case, I will take you back to a YouTube vid I did a long time ago where I explained all of this. The real system y'all should put in that no one is fighting for, including Collier, is the MLS-style system. They do a minimum salary, but they have exemptions for the big stars. So if your argument is that it's Angel, Paige, Caitlyn, and they deserve a lot more money, there is a system already in place that you're very close to, Major League Soccer, where they will pay everyone a good amount of money, but the Messis and the big stars of the world will get 20, 30, 40 times what everyone else gets because that's what they deserve. Do you really want that? Do you really want fairness for Caitlyn and Paige and Angel? Or are you just saying it because, again, it fits the narrative and makes you look good, and behind closed doors, would you support any system like that? I truly doubt it. Is it about paying these girls more, or is it more about your optics? And is it even more about maybe bringing Caitlyn into your league finally, where you would make a ton more money? And I've brought it up before. I don't even want to mention, really, if you boycott ladies, God damn it. I hope you got something on your resume. I hope you're on LinkedIn. You will not survive a boycott in any way that you are looking or think that it will be beneficial. Finals tickets already right now are only $35. They can't break 2 million, and they're trying to brag about 1.3 and 1.9 for their WNBA finals ratings. Caitlyn killed all of that in the regular season multiple times, and her buzz is fading now because of the injuries and everything else. History will move on, man. I'm telling you, history shows fans will move on. MLB, NHL, they tried strikes. They never really got to be back to where they were. The WNBA doesn't have the cushion that they do. And so, like Cathy or not, y'all need to work together. I don't really know how much I want to praise this whole, I'm going to publicly throw out these quotes that she said or may not have said, and I'm going to start arguments, and I'm not going to take meetings with her. Cat fights don't build this league. Strategy and solidarity do. And I still want to question a little bit, as great and respectful and awesome as she's been, there might have been some other motives for the hero of the WNBA, the people's champion, the Katniss Everdeen, and somebody had to bring it up, so I did. Now I'm going to move on.
Tricky Guy Sports. Full episode online now. Don't forget to like and subscribe.